Alright, the Reds, how are we? It's Arsenal 1, Liverpool 1. Ian Ryan, Dan Morgan, Gareth Roberts. We're going to have a little chat with him. Motel bar in the centre of Liverpool. Frustrating to concede when we do, but it was a good goal. And if you're an Arsenal fan, if you're an Arsenal manager, if you're an Arsenal player, you say, we deserve something out of that. I think everything, all the statistics suggest, what I saw suggests, a draw was probably a fair result on it.
Yeah, you can't really argue with the draw. I mean, what you would say is Liverpool had some great chances.
Yeah.
Hit the woodwork.
Twice.
They have a goal disallowed as well, which should stand. It backs up the thought process that officials haven't got a fucking clue when it comes to the offside rule. No one's got a fucking clue.
On the first phase, second phase.
Absolutely, that should have stood. But I think you're right overall. It's a really strange game to analyse, I thought, because there was little patches where I thought we were good and we were getting in behind, especially right hand side behind Kolasinac, thought Salah at times first half. There was a way home for us there. But then equally, they had loads of joy as well. So I thought Trent, he struggled today for me. He had a game where it was probably one to forget. And
He was targeting them though, weren't he?
He were. I said in the team talk show, I thought there was a very realistic chance that if fit, the manager would have gone probably with Lovren and Van Dijk and shifted Gomez across, just because I thought Aubameyang pulling from the left hand side could have caused us problems, and that's what happened really. I thought they were probably the best I've seen of Arsenal. I mean, they've been known for starting really slow in games, but I thought in this match they started pretty well, and that's probably the best they've played for a long time. So yeah, 1-1, probably a fair result, Robbo.
What do you make of it, Dan? We lost the midfield, didn't we?
Yeah, it was a funny one. I mean, I think we switched in the second half to a mad kind of 4-4-2. I think that might be to accommodate a few things that are going on. Ian mentions Trent. They seem to get down a lot down his side in the first half. So yeah, I think originally Lovren would have played if he was fit.
Right, yeah.
I think the plan would have been to spring Robertson. You see Milner sitting in at left back a few times. I think the plan would have been to play Gomez right back and pull him in. But as it was, got kind of caught in two minds. The full-backs, I felt whether they were both going or both staying or whether it was just one. So that kind of has a knock-on then going up the pitch. But I think there's a couple of things. I think what we've seen this season that's different about Liverpool is they back themselves to hold on to a 1-0 or a 1-goal lead, and sometimes, you know, they're dangerous odds and they can go against you. But, you know, they also back themselves to counter-attack well, and yet again today we don't quite, in the right moments, do it as well as we can, even towards injury time where there's one with Salah, and it's like he just knocked the ball against the lad and then not knocking him, you know, it's injury time, you've gone through 90 odd minutes of football.
Got to make sure though, haven't you?
Yeah, but you know, you're fatigued and everything else, but even early on in games we're just lacking that little bit of clinical nature in terms of the counter-attack. So Ian's right, thinks the right result, but the problem is now the fine margins we're working with in terms of the league. A point away at Arsenal now, in its own context, is a good result, but when we're dealing with what we're dealing with, it isn't.
You know what, that's the bad thing. Like I've always been brought up on, go away to Arsenal, get a draw, that's sound.
Right, yeah.
You're happy with that
Yeah.
every season, but now, because of the pace this was going at, you felt like you needed 3 points tonight, and that's where it gets a little bit disappointing. But maybe in the cold light of day, when you look back on the game, you'll think, well, you know what, in years gone by, Liverpool may have lost that game. You know, when it goes to 1-1, heads may have gone. But fortunately for us, we've got a fucking colossus there in Van Dijk, who was brilliant. And the line we kept was tremendous tonight. The amount of times we caught them offside was superb. I need to see the goal again, because someone does lose Lacazette for the run. I'm not quite sure who it is yet. I need to go back and have a look at it. And to be fair to him, it's a hell of a finish. It's a hell of a finish.
It's a good finish. I mean, the concern for me, and you know, and Klopp's hands are tied a little bit in that there literally isn't another midfielder on the bench unless you want to have a go with Lallana, who's basically an attacking player. Shaqiri comes on, but you know, he's not known for his tackling. What concerned me a little bit in terms of losing the midfield was thought Xhaka and the other fella with him, Torreira played well. You looked at Fabinho today, I thought he struggled. I thought Van Aalsem had one of them games where he went missing a little bit. And I thought Milner was the only one who was regularly winning the ball for Liverpool in midfield.
I thought the midfield, I mean, I think it's obvious to see that's where the issues were tonight. Yeah. And I think I said something to Dan and Neil at half time, you know, if Henderson had delivered a performance like that in the first half, that Fabinho delivers, and I don't want to go on the lad's back because he's new, he's adjusting. You've got to take that into account. But here we are, the fucking internet would have fucking gone down tonight, you know what I mean? It would have fucking melted, like, because it was we had a really tough first half, and I remember looking at him thinking, lad, get your head up. Get your head up. He was receiving a ball, and by the time he's got his head up, he's lost
Taking
it.
too long, yeah.
And people were pinching it off him. You're right to the reference to there. Gets him out the pitch really, really well. I liked him in the World Cup. I liked him tonight. For Fabinho, he'll learn from this. It's one of them, innit? You've got to take it on the chin sometimes. It wasn't great to watch, and I think you're right. If there'd been an obvious sub, he may have made it at half time, because, I mean, maybe he could have done Shaqiri and gone, you know what, I'll chance my arm with Gini and Milner sitting in it too, and I'll put Shaqiri in there and give them something to think about. But I never thought Klopp would do that. And actually, you know, we take a 1-0 lead, and you back us to fucking see that out because of how good we've been at hold on to 1-0 lead and looking strong. But, you know, Arsenal are a good side when it comes to, you know, being offensive. They've got players in there. They go bold tonight, by the way. I wasn't sure they go as bold as that. And they go with 4 lads who are very, very attacking. And as I said before, the draw was probably a fair result.
Well, we said in the preview show as well, didn't we, Dan, that it's been a tough place for us to go traditionally. We've only won there twice at the Emirates under Kenny Dalglish, and then that one, the first game of the season, 2016. So, in that context, I mean, Ian's right to say it's because of the season, because City have got Southampton tomorrow, and you know they're going to beat them, let's be honest. The odds all say so. But nevertheless, if we can still take a step back and forget about Man City, a draw at Arsenal is all right, isn't it?
Yeah, do you know what I've just been thinking? You know, I think if you're say you're an Arsenal fan walking out that ground tonight, I think you're thinking, if we'd have gone 2-3-0 down against these, there's no way you're coming back. And I think last season, you looked at Liverpool, and even if you were 3-0 down, you thought, well, just maybe if we get one. And we've seen what happened there last season, you know. I think we're 2-0 up, aren't we? And we ended up 3-2 down in about 5 minutes. I don't think that happens tonight. I think it's much a fact that we don't go and get the second. And that just happens. That can just be a circumstance in a game. And like I said before...
And to be fair, Arsenal left it open when they score. I mean, we go right to the other end and we could score.
Exactly, yeah.
So, and that's like almost what you're saying, isn't it? That's what Liverpool used to do.
Exactly, yeah. That's exactly it. So... I think they'll be looking at us going, they're a good side. You know, they're a lot more compact and a lot more tight. They'll be made up with a draw. But at the same time, they seem to always get up for Liverpool, Arsenal. It's one of those, everyone seems to get up against your team when they're playing them because you're watching your team. But it just seems that it seems to be we're a place we go where all of a sudden they're just up for it. It's like they're all standing on seats, and it's just like they're all really madly dying to get a result against us, and that's probably a reflection of us, of how far we've come, and the fact that they see us as a title challenger. So to get a result against us for them is great, and in the context, it's not a bad result, as I keep saying, but we've got to move on. We've got to beat Red Star. We have to beat Fulham. I'll back us for them odds. That's fine.
You sense like Emery must have been like drilling home the message. Lads, you can't start slow against these. He
was going mad on the touchline.
BT fuck off with him, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
I think only the only shoulder guard half an hour of the game.
Stupid fucking mug.
An hour of him.
But they, watching them at home recently, Leicester, Everton, they start really, really slow, and he must have been saying to them, if you start slow against these, they'll be out of sight. They'll be 2-3 up, and the game's fucking done then. You ain't getting back against this side, so they make a conscious effort tonight to start fast, and they do start fast. I think Dan references it early on there about, you know, it started to become a bit of frustration for me, that final ball, you know, you mentioned it, Robbo, there, the Shaqiri one, the Salah one at the end where he could put Mane in. There's been a lot of that this season where you just think the front three, as good as we know they are, there's been that just lack of killer instinct, that lack of like being really, really clinical in the final third, and you're thinking to yourself, it's got to come at some point, and there's been flashes of it, but we needed it tonight. And if it's there tonight, we probably do take the 3 points, but...
And that's the problem, isn't it? I mean, I'm going to contradict myself now, but when you watch Man City, when you're there going, come on, someone lay a glove on the bastards, they are really clinical, aren't they? It seems.
Yeah, it seems that they can get out with a 2-0 almost without breaking sweat sometimes in games like this, and I think they do it on the first game of the season, but I mean, City are defending really well, and that's what no one's really taken into consideration. They're defending really well. Laporte looks an absolute gem.
Yeah, he does.
Now, after settling in for half a season.
You can tell why he paid us money for him now, can't you? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think if there is a slight criticism of us today, is that our lines are a little bit too flat. In that I think if you're looking at a City, for example, they'll just play him in breaks and fits and starts, so that, you know, they almost have that 2-3-2-3 out of possession and in possession. Whereas I thought we were a little bit too much 3-3 and then 4-2. And it was a little bit too easy to predict for Arsenal. If you're trying to sort your own line out, if you're trying to play them balls in and try and work in our half spaces, it just felt a little bit too easy for them to pick up. And I didn't think we asked them enough questions in that sense. But we've got to keep going, and we've got to keep hoping that this does all come together at some point, and we can find that cohesion, and we're still bedding players in, like you referenced Fabinho. We're not at that point where we were last season, the back end of last season, where everything's clicking and everyone knows the role. I think when you're trying to get yourself an 11 first and foremost without injuries, but secondly you're trying to tell them all to do the same thing and work in a certain way, then you're gonna lose that rhythm. And the manager's all about rhythm, he talks about it all the time. So take your medicine, get out there tonight with that 1-1, and then we've just got to go into the next game. We can't do nothing more about it.
I think what occurred to me, without being too simplistic about it as well, is that people always say, listen, you know, you play everyone twice, you know, home and away, but it does matter when you play teams. Like City go their first game of the season, and they're not that Arsenal. They're not the same side as we faced tonight. That was the best I've seen of Arsenal. And if Liverpool played their first game of the season, we probably win 3 or 4-0, take them to the cleaners. But you can tell he's had time to work with him, Rob, you know what I mean? And they're a better unit now.
Everyone was saying, wasn't he, that, you know, it was ridiculous trying to get the goalies to play a bit of football because they weren't suited to doing it. You know, everyone was like, you know, his style's not working, they look dodgy at the back. And then in the build-up to this game, again, something we mentioned on the preview show was, you've seen Arsenal a few times where we keep talking about us clicking, we're all obsessed with Liverpool clicking. We've seen Arsenal click a few times. He scored some nice goals before today, and it was another nice one today, to be fair, as hard as that is to say. But you're right in that, you know, he's right, isn't he, that, I mean, it's so simplistic, isn't it? Oh, everyone plays everyone twice and all that, but there's so many other factors that come into it that, you know, even the idea that Arsenal will bang up for it, well, it's 5:30, it's Saturday night, it's like, you know, all the Arsenal crowds who at times aren't the loudest, they will have had a pint today and all that kind of thing, and with it being 5:30, with it being under the floodlights, it makes it the big game atmosphere, and it almost makes Liverpool's task harder.
As well, you know, you get 2 fullbacks back on the pitch today.
Yeah.
You know, you can get a different card dealt to you where he's got to pick a team with no fullbacks and Xhaka's left back, and they're just saying, let's just get out with a 2-0 defeat. Do you know what I mean? Because they basically haven't got the cards to go and play Liverpool the way they want to play them, but you get both fullbacks on the pitch and they didn't look like they've been struggling, they didn't look like they were playing at 60-70%, they played quite well, to be fair. So there's all kinds of factors, and I'll just try and accentuate, Liverpool don't wilt at any time, you know, alright, we concede and that can happen because that game's going at 1,000,000 miles an hour for 90 minutes, and we can look at the goal and go, oh, you know, Gomez might have switched off, he mightn't have gone with the run, he might have thought Alisson was going to gobble the ball up or whatever else. That can happen. It's a really good finish by Lacazette.
Great finish.
Keeps his head. You know,
great finish.
You're right that if we played them on the first game of the season, they're a little bit unsure. What are they now? 13 unbeaten?
Yeah.
Or something like that. If they get beat to Palace last week, it could be a different story today. They don't. So I'm not saying Arsenal are going to go on and, you know, be the new Invincibles or whatever, but I agree with you. If City play them now, it's a different game.
Yeah. Let's pull out some positives then for Liverpool. I think we said a couple of players that were struggling in Fabinho and Trent and that sort of stuff, but if we pull out some positives, do the top 3-4 us out of Liverpool's side today?
I thought, for me, Van Dijk was a standout. Like, I thought he was brilliant. I mean, weirdly, he could have had a fucking hat-trick, couldn't he? You know what I mean? It was one of those
the one he pulls out the sky on his chest, what a touch.
He doesn't do much wrong there, does he? I mean, to be fair to Leno, he's on him in a flash, and I mean, he hits the post and he has the second half where, yeah, the goalie probably should save it, it's above him, but it's a great reaction. I mean, it's fucking one of them, on a different night, he's sitting there with 2 or 3 goals, and, you know, I thought him and Gomez were good. I thought Andy Robbo had a good game as well. I think it's hard to get too excited about the midfield, and it's hard to get excited about the forwards.
It's a good finish by Milner.
It's a great finish by Milner because you see, you know, on the face of it, it looks fairly straightforward, but you see so many lads under pressure, blazer over the bar, rush of blood, all that stuff.
And it was like, the spot that he puts it in is where he had to put it.
Yeah, it's brilliant, it's a superb finish. And then you do think, I mean, it says a lot about this team now and what Klopp's done, where you think, we're winning this game now. In my mind, I'm thinking Liverpool will see this out, and if anything, we'll go and get a second because they'll come on to us and we'll probably pick them off. But, you know, sometimes it's one of them and you have to just chalk it down. But listen, we'll be Fulham next week, no doubt in my fucking mind. They've got a derby.
Kevin Keegan?
No, sorry, man.
I'm loving it with them.
Fucking hell.
And I'll tell you now.
Can't wait to see you bench Fulham.
You're fucking stitched me up there, you cunt. You know what? They've got United, haven't they? So let's see what happens there. They'll probably fucking smash them, by the way.
I'd love it if they beat them.
I'm on a pint. By the way, shout out to the fucking lad when we scored. I drenched him, by the way. Absolutely drenched him.
You got absolutely.
He loved it, though. He loved it.
Honestly, he loved it.
He fucking loved it.
He had no choice.
Turn around to kick off and saw you. I was like, fuck. Nah,
Take that pint of Amstel on the chin there.
So he's gone for his top three, the centre halves and Robertson. Are you deviating away from that at all?
Yeah, I think there's something to be said for Salah tonight, and I think that he doesn't stop trying. I think he's constantly niggling. It doesn't come off for him a couple of times, but he's trying all the time. He's telling people where to be. He wants Firmino screening their two midfielders all the time as well. So I was enthused by him. I think that, who's my other one? Milner. I think Milner has a really good second half. I think first half he's definitely got a job to go and sit in for Robertson so he can go further forward, but when he goes over to Trent's side second half, gets the goal, carries on after the knock, I think he's the standout midfielder. But I think Joe Gomez, for me, I think one thing that's getting bypassed in terms of how good he is, his passing is unbelievable.
Yeah.
His direct passing, and you know, he can split it. He can split two players with a pass over it. You know, you might have a 3-yard gap where he can make a pass, but he can make it. You've seen a little bit of it in the Huddersfield goal where he fizzes it into Shaqiri, but he does it through 2 or 3 times tonight. He's really got that pass in his locker that can just take out 2 lines of play. So I thought he was really good. Maybe he's a little bit of fault for the goal. I don't know. I'd have to see it again like you, but I thought he was brilliant.
What are your thoughts on the massive sub? You're into it? I'm not into it at all, mate.
I wasn't into it.
I think
kind of felt like he had a cob on about him not finding Mane and went out of fucking. You know what I mean? Straight after that.
I've got a theory about it in that he doesn't do it at Napoli away when he should. He does Sturridge instead, and then we go and concede when Napoli have got the tails up. So I think he's got his fingers burnt a little bit from that, and he's had the opportunity to do it there and he's done it. Then Jono was made up because he thought Matip was going up front, by the way. Then got a big cob on when he never.
Well, there's also a post-match podcast being recorded right now in here, I think. So God knows what that's going to sound like, but I'm sure it'll be fine. So get onto that if you're not already. You'll need to subscribe to the Anfield Wrap to do so. Go to theanfieldwrap.com/subscribe, get involved, listen to all the podcasts and that sort of stuff. This has been the post-match pint from Motel. Liverpool, you know, we fight another day, don't we? We go and beat Fulham. Love it if we beat them.